I've already done 3 tests, and they all showed the same thing. I'm pregnant. But the worst part is I have no idea whose baby this is. My boyfriend or his brother, who I've been secretly seeing for the past few months. Like this video, comment what city you're from, and don't forget to subscribe. I have to tell Colton. I can tell him the baby is his. We can be a family. He'll never have to know about Alex. What he doesn't know won't hurt him. We can move forward and build the life we always planned together. I rush from the bathroom to find Colton. I know he's already home from work. As soon as I walk into the living room, I see him standing there, his back turned to me. His face is unreadable, cold. He must know something is wrong. Something about his posture tells me this isn't going to go the way I hoped. Before I can speak, he turns and looks at me with a look that sends chills down my spine. His words hit me like a physical blow as he asks whose baby it is, mine or his brother's. My heart stops. My throat tightens. He knows. How? How could he know already? I feel my stomach churn as I stand frozen in the doorway, unable to speak. I open my mouth, but no words come out. I'm paralyzed, unable to explain myself. Colton's eyes never leave me. He doesn't raise his voice, doesn't yell. He's calm, but the intensity of his stare is more terrifying than anything else. The silence in the room is suffocating. I can feel my hands shaking. I thought I was prepared for this moment, but I wasn't. Colton's voice is steady and cold when he tells me that I can't lie to him, that he already knows I've been seeing Alex behind his back. His tone is like that of a man who has already made peace with the fact that everything he knew was a lie. He demands to know whose baby it is. I still don't know what to say. I can't believe I'm in this situation. How did everything go so wrong? I never meant for any of this to happen. It wasn't like I planned to hurt Colton. Things with Alex just happened naturally. We connected in a way that felt real and meaningful. I was lonely in my relationship with Colton, and Alex filled that emptiness. But I can't explain any of that to Colton right now. His words echo in my head, but I can't respond. The truth is, I don't know whose baby it is. I haven't been with Colton in weeks. I've been pushing him away, avoiding intimacy with him because I felt guilty about Alex. But with Alex, it was different. The connection was passionate and intense in ways my relationship with Colton had never been. He waits for me to speak, but I can't find the words. He makes it clear that he doesn't need an explanation from me, doesn't need me to lie. He knows the truth. He just needs me to say it. Whose baby is it, his or his brother's? The way he asks the question makes it sound like he already knows the answer. How could he know? Had Alex told him? Had anyone seen us together? I try to think back to all the times Alex and I had been alone, wondering if we had been careless. I feel my knees go weak as the weight of the situation settles over me. This isn't how this was supposed to go. I came here to share news about our future, about starting a family together. Instead, I'm being confronted about my affair with his brother. His next words are like a final verdict. He tells me to pack my things, his voice never wavering. He doesn't want me here anymore. Not after this. I want to protest, to explain that things aren't as simple as he's making them seem. I want to tell him that I still love him, that what happened with Alex doesn't change my feelings for him. But the words won't come. I can see in his eyes that his mind is already made up. I leave Colton's apartment in a daze. The world outside feels distant, like I'm walking through a fog. I don't know where to go. I don't know who to turn to. My mind immediately goes to Alex. That's where I'll go next. Maybe he'll understand. Maybe he'll offer me a place to stay, some kind of support. After all, he's part of this situation too. If the baby is his, then he has some responsibility here. I knock on Alex's door, my heart pounding in my chest. When he opens it, I'm ready to spill everything. I expect to see concern in his eyes, maybe even relief that the truth is finally out. But as soon as I see his face, something in me cracks. He's not looking at me like he used to. There's no warmth, no connection, just coldness and what looks like annoyance. I tell him about Colton. I told him about the pregnancy. I tell him I'm lost, alone, that I've been kicked out and have nowhere to go. I remind him about all the time we spent together, All the conversations we had about our connection, about how what we had was special and real. I expect sympathy, but all I get is a blunt rejection. His tone is completely detached when he tells me that I need to figure this out on my own, that he can't help me, that this is my mess. His words hit harder than I expected. It's not just that he's rejecting me, it's the way he looks at me, as if I'm nothing more than a problem he doesn't want to deal with. This is the same man who told me I was beautiful, who made me feel desired and wanted. Now he's treating me like I'm some kind of burden. I try to remind him that he was just as involved in our affair as I was. I tell him that if the baby is his, we need to figure out what to do together. But he just shakes his head and tells me that whatever happened between us is in the past. He shuts the door in my face without another word. I stand there, staring at the door, stunned. I can't believe this is the same person who made me feel so special just weeks ago. The man who made me question my entire relationship with Colton is now abandoning me when I need support the most. I have nowhere left to turn. Colton is gone. Alex is gone. I'm alone. With no one else to turn to, I try my family. I reach out to my parents, hoping for support. I explain everything. The affair, the pregnancy, the fallout with Colton, and how I'm lost and terrified. I tell them that I need help, that I need somewhere to stay while I figure out what to do next. But instead of the comfort I need, I'm met with disappointment, anger, and judgment. My mum's words are sharp when she tells me that I made my choice and now I need to live with it. Her disappointment is clear. My dad doesn't even look at me. He's silent, as if the daughter he once knew is a stranger. When he finally speaks, he tells me that he raised me to make better decisions than this, to think about consequences before acting. They make it clear that they can't help me. They explain that I've ruined everything and that I'm on my own. They won't enable my poor choices by making things easier for me. The world feels like it's closing in on me. No one wants to stand by me. Not Colton, not Alex, not even my own family. My sister, who I thought would at least be sympathetic, tells me she needs time and space to process what I've done. She's worried that being associated with me will affect her own reputation and relationships. I leave their house feeling more alone than ever. I'm in a nightmare that I can't wake up from. Everyone I counted on has turned their back on me. With nowhere else to go, I check into a cheap motel. It's not much, but it's a place where I can hide from the world, even if it's only temporary. The room is small and depressing, with faded wallpaper and a musty smell that makes me feel even worse about my situation. I sit on the bed, staring at the walls, my mind racing. I don't know what to do next. The weight of everything is suffocating. I've lost my home, my relationship, my family's support, and potentially the father of my child. Everything I thought I knew about my life has been destroyed. I can't stop thinking about the baby. I don't know if I'm ready to be a mother. I don't even know if I'm ready for the life I've created. But I have no choice. I have to face the reality of the situation. The baby is real, and it's growing inside me whether I'm prepared or not. I need answers. I have to know if the baby is Colton's or Alex's. The uncertainty is killing me, and I can't make any plans for the future without knowing the truth. I found a clinic that offers prenatal paternity testing, though it's expensive. I schedule an appointment, desperate to get answers. But deep down, I'm scared of what the results will say. I don't know if I want it to be Colton's or Alex's. Either way, my world will be changed forever. Getting both men to agree to take the test is difficult, but eventually they both consent. I think they want to know the truth as much as I do, probably so they can figure out what their responsibilities are going to be. Days pass, and the waiting becomes unbearable. The fear builds with each passing moment. I know the test results will change everything. I'm terrified of what they might say. Will it be Colton's? Can I somehow use that information to fix everything and salvage our relationship? Or will it be Alex's, and my life will spiral out of control even further? I spend my time in the motel room, barely eating, barely sleeping, just waiting for the phone call that will determine the course of the rest of my life. I imagine different scenarios in my head, trying to prepare myself for either outcome, but nothing feels real. Finally, the day comes. I receive the call with the results, and then the clinic sends me the official paperwork. I sit on the edge of the motel bed, holding the envelope in my hands, my fingers trembling. This piece of paper contains information that will define my future. I open the envelope, my hands shaking so badly I can barely hold the paper steady. The test results are clear. The baby is Alex's. I sit there, stunned, unable to process what I've just read. Alex. Of course, the one person I thought could understand, the one person who made me feel wanted, is now the father of my child. The man I betrayed Colton with is the one who will be tied to me forever, whether he wants to be or not. I don't know what to feel. Relief that I finally know the truth. Devastation that it confirms my worst fears. I don't know how to handle this. I just know that my life has taken a turn I never expected. Now I have to tell both of them the results. I call Colton first, thinking that maybe this news will give him some peace of mind. At least he won't have to worry about being responsible for a child in this complicated situation. But when I tell Colton that the test confirmed Alex is the father, his reaction is not what I expected. Instead of relief, his voice becomes even colder than before. He tells me that knowing Alex is the father actually makes everything worse for him. It confirms that I was deeply involved with his brother, involved enough to create a child with him. Colton tells me that he never wants to see me or hear from me again. The test results have made the betrayal feel even more real and painful. He hangs up on me, and I know that chapter of my life is closed forever. Calling Alex with the news is even more difficult. When I tell him he's definitely the father, his reaction is immediate and harsh. Instead of accepting responsibility or talking about what we're going to do next, he becomes defensive and angry. Alex accuses me of getting pregnant on purpose to trap him into a relationship. He says that he never wanted children and isn't ready for that kind of responsibility. He tells me that just because he's the biological father doesn't mean he plans to be a real father to the child. The conversation ends with Alex telling me that I'm on my own. He says he might pay child support if legally required, but that he won't be involved in raising the child or having any kind of relationship with me. Then he hangs up on me, just like his brother did. The news spreads quickly through our social circle. I'm not sure how people find out, but within days it seems like everyone knows about the affair, the pregnancy, and the paternity test results. The reactions are swift and harsh, and I don't understand why everyone is being so cruel to me. Most of our mutual friends side with Colton. They can't believe that I cheated on him with his own brother, and they see my actions as unforgivable. But they don't understand the whole story. They don't know how lonely I was in my relationship with Colton, how he had stopped paying attention to me, how our relationship had become stale and routine. I start receiving text messages and social media comments from people telling me what they think of me, and none of it is kind. Sarah, who has been my best friend since college, sends me a long message about how disappointed she is in me. She writes that she can't believe I would hurt Colton like this, especially with his own brother. Her message makes it clear that she feels like she doesn't even know who I am anymore, and that she needs to distance herself from me to protect her own reputation. But Sarah doesn't understand that I never meant to hurt anyone. Things with Alex just happened naturally. I was vulnerable, and he was there for me when Colton wasn't. Mark and Jessica, a couple we used to double date with all the time, completely stopped talking to me. When I try to reach out to Jessica to explain my side of the story, her response makes it clear that there's no excuse for what I did. Her message states that cheating is bad enough, but cheating with your boyfriend's brother is unforgivable. But they don't know how it felt to be ignored and taken for granted for months. They don't know what it's like to feel invisible in your own relationship. Even people I barely knew started commenting on my social media posts with harsh judgments. They called me names, questioned my character, and made it clear that they thought I was a terrible person. I eventually had to delete all my social media accounts because the constant stream of negativity was too much to handle. It feels so unfair that everyone is judging me when they don't know the full story of what led to this situation. The worst part was running into people I knew around town. I would see them in the grocery store or at the gas station, and they would either completely ignore me or give me dirty looks. Some of them would whisper to whoever they were with when they saw me, obviously talking about my situation. I want to tell them that they don't understand, that I'm not the villain they think I am. One day I ran into Colton's sister at the pharmacy. She had always been friendly to me before, but when she saw me, her face changed completely. She told me that I had destroyed her family, that Colton and Alex weren't speaking to each other anymore because of what I had done. She said that their parents were heartbroken and that I had ruined relationships that had taken a lifetime to build. But why is it all my fault? Alex made his own choices too. He pursued me just as much as I pursued him. Friends I had known for years suddenly want nothing to do with me. They unfriend me on social media, stop returning my calls, and make it clear that I'm no longer welcome in the social groups I had been part of for so long. People I thought would always be in my life have completely cut me out. It hurts because they're treating me like I'm some kind of monster when all I did was follow my heart. My work situation becomes impossible too. Even though I had taken a leave of absence, word gets back to my co-workers about what happened. When I try to return to work, I can feel everyone staring at me and whispering. My boss calls me into her office and makes it clear that while they can't fire me for my personal life, the situation is creating a hostile work environment for everyone else. Her suggestion that I might be happier finding employment elsewhere, somewhere where people don't know about my situation, carries an obvious message. I'm not welcome there anymore either. I end up quitting rather than deal with the constant judgment and whispers. It's frustrating because my personal life shouldn't affect my professional life, but apparently it does. The financial pressure becomes overwhelming. Without my job and with no support from anyone, I'm running out of money quickly. The motel room costs more than I can afford long term, but I have no other options. I start looking for cheaper places to stay, but most landlords want references and deposits that I can't provide. Nobody seems to understand that I'm the victim here too. I'm pregnant and alone with nowhere to turn. I apply for government assistance, but the process is humiliating and slow. I have to sit in waiting rooms full of people, filling out forms that ask invasive questions about my personal life. The caseworkers treat me like I'm just another irresponsible person who made poor choices and now expects society to take care of me. But they don't understand that I didn't plan for any of this to happen. The isolation is complete. Colton finds out about the results and disappears from my life entirely. I hear through mutual acquaintances that he started dating someone new, a nurse from his hospital who seems to make him happy in ways I apparently never did. The news hurts more than I expected, even though I know I have no right to be upset about it. But it still stings to see how quickly he moved on, like our 4 years together meant nothing to him. Alex vanishes too, wanting nothing to do with the consequences of our affair. I try calling him a few more times, hoping that maybe he'll change his mind about being involved in the baby's life, but he never answers. Eventually, his number is disconnected, and I realize he's probably moved away to avoid any responsibility. It's infuriating that he gets to just disappear while I'm left to deal with everything alone. The loneliness is crushing. I spend days in the motel room without talking to another human being except for the occasional interaction with the front desk clerk or a cashier at the store. I start talking to myself just to hear a voice, even if it's my own. Everyone treats me like I'm some kind of terrible person, but I was just trying to find happiness and connection. I try to reach out to some distant relatives, cousins I hadn't spoken to in years, hoping that maybe they would be more understanding. But word has already reached them about my situation, and they make it clear that they don't want to be involved in what they see as a family scandal. It seems like nowhere is safe from judgment. My friends have abandoned me. The few people who initially tried to stay neutral eventually choose sides, and they all choose Colton. I can't blame them really, but it still hurts. Everyone sees him as the victim in this situation, and I'm the one who caused all the pain and drama. But nobody wants to understand my side of the story or why I felt so trapped in my relationship. I try to pick up the pieces, but it feels impossible. I can't go back. I've ruined everything, apparently. The life I once thought I had is gone. Colton is gone. Alex is gone. My family, my friends, they all turned their backs on me when I needed them most. It feels like the punishment doesn't fit the crime. I'm pregnant, alone, and completely broken. I don't know how to move forward. Every day feels like a struggle just to get out of bed. I have no support system, no money, no stable place to live, and a baby on the way. Everyone expects me to handle this on my own, but I don't know how. The pregnancy symptoms make everything worse. I'm constantly nauseous, exhausted, and emotional. I cry at the smallest things, and I can't tell if it's because of hormones or because of my situation, probably both. I should be excited about having a baby, but instead, I'm terrified about how I'm going to manage when everyone has turned against me. I start having panic attacks in the middle of the night. I wake up gasping for air, my heart racing, thinking about how I'm going to raise a child with no help and no money. The baby deserves so much better than this situation, but I'm all they're going to have. Nobody else seems to care about what happens to us. The weight of everyone's judgment presses down on me constantly. I had everything: a stable relationship, a loving family, good friends, a bright future. And now I have nothing because I made one mistake. It doesn't seem fair that my entire life should be destroyed because I fell in love with the wrong person at the wrong time. I can't even afford proper prenatal care. I go to a free clinic where I have to wait for hours just to see a doctor for a few minutes. The staff there is overworked and often impatient. I feel like just another burden on the system, another irresponsible person who got herself into trouble. But I never asked for any of this to happen. Some nights, I lie awake thinking about how different things could have been. If Colton had been more attentive, if he had made me feel wanted and desired, maybe none of this would have happened. If Alex hadn't been so charming and understanding, maybe I wouldn't have fallen for him. But it's too late for regrets now, and apparently it's too late for anyone to show me any compassion.